Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm back for another Slim Sports interview. And as always, I'm your host, Jay Slim. And joining me today is one of my brothers for life. We've been at it together for the past few years. He really helped get this brand kick-started, helped support me throughout the journey. And I've been supporting him because he's a knockdown shooter, 6'5" shooting guard, playing for Morehouse College for the Maroon Tigers. My brother, Omar Rowe. What's going on, O?
Doubled out front, and they just jumped him and took the basketball away. Back the other way, Rowe with the finish for the Maroons.
What's up, my brother? How you feeling?
I'm doing good, man. It's been way too long to get you on here, man, but finally I'm getting you on here
Nah,
for this
word.
interview. I am so happy to have you on here, man. I mean, one of the best personalities I've ever met. So anyone watching this is in store for a great interview. You've had a great journey throughout playing your college career so far. Started off your first year at Iona playing for a Hall of Fame coach in Rick Pitino. Spent 2 years at the junior college level where you got to develop your game, and now you're a starter for Morehouse for the Maroon Tigers. Talk to me real quick about this journey that you've been on the past few years. How would you kind of describe the journey that you've had to go through?
I definitely say it was very humbling. It was very humbling because as a person, you make plans as far as your career, how you want to do this and do that, and then sometimes it might not go that way. It's like, how do you adjust it? Like, are you gonna dwell on it, or are you gonna make the best out of what you got? So that's really what I took from everything, like just humbling, like for real, for real.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, you started off at the Division 1 level at Iona for a very talented team, playing alongside some really great players for a Hall of Fame coach in Rick Pitino. I've heard a lot of stories about Rick Pitino. He's a very intense guy at times. What was that experience like your freshman year playing for him, and how would you say he kind of helped get you started as far as understanding what the college basketball experience was going to be like?
My first experience with him, it was kind of like it was actually good because like I came in there with the mindset like, I'm ready to work. So it wasn't really tough until I got hurt. And then once I got hurt, that was like, all right, like what's going on? That's the humbling part I was talking about. That was my first humbling experience for real. But other than that, the process it was cool. Like I didn't have no problems. I loved it actually. Plus, being in Fort Myers, that's a blessing.
Mhm. Yeah, and then you ended up going to the JUCO ranks after that first year at Iona for Pitino. You had some connections with Florida Southwestern. Barrick Jean Louis, who was there, he was with you at Iona your first year. He was at FSW the year prior, and then Terry Roberts, who's a good friend of yours, he ended up playing there for 2 years as well before you ended up making the move to Southwest Florida. Did those connections kind of help get you in the door as far as, getting you recruited by Florida Southwestern when you entered the transfer portal after your freshman season?
Oh yeah, I'm not even going to deny it at all. Terry Roberts, that's literally the reason why I ended up at Florida Southwestern. Like literally, like I remember when I was at Iona, I was trying to figure out what my next move was, and he kept telling me like, "Yo, like come to my school." So I'm like, I'm gonna think about it. And then he had Murph and Coach Kente called me, and then from there it was just it was a done deal.
Oh yeah, Terry always looks out for his brothers. I know you guys always looked out for each other, and trust me, he talked very highly of you when he heard that you were getting recruited. And obviously, you spent those 2 years at the JUCO level. Now, a lot of people, JUCO kind of gets a bad rap every now and then. People want to say, oh, they're not as good as Division 1, but as you well know, you played alongside a lot of really talented players. Obviously, you being one of those talented players. How would you describe that JUCO atmosphere? How you were able to get better and continue to grow your game down when you were at Florida Southwestern?
So at first, I could say I was one of those people that thought Jugo was kind of like taking a step down as far as the level of talent and just competitiveness. I didn't feel like it was there. Like I feel like it was kiddie. So I got here. I remember my summer workouts playing. I remember my first year at JUCO, I was with Kai. Who else? I was with Rajon. Couple other cats. I can't remember at the top of my head, but just playing with them, I'm like, oh nah, this JUCO stuff real. Cause I remember my cousin, he played at JUCO. So his advice going into JUCO was like, don't downplay JUCO. You feel me? Like still play like as if you was at Iona or whatever. So I still kept that mindset, not to dumb down to the level of my what's the word? Dumb to my
Competition.
yeah, my competition. So once I had that in the back of my head, it kind of made my process also smoother. And I ain't really, but I ain't gonna lie, JUCO real. We got some good talent, some good schools, some good. Yeah, it's very competitive.
Yeah, and you went down into a region where it's the best region in JUCO, hands down. Florida Southwestern being a part of those Florida schools, Northwest Florida State, Indian River, Daytona State, all nationally ranked every single year. And you talked about Rajon Kai; those are some of the Division I players that you got to play alongside and practice with. You also have Brian Silabonge, who was at Arizona State.
Yeah, I forgot about Brian.
Jadrian Tracy ended up at Oregon. He was a starter for Oregon in the national tournament this year. So that just speaks to the talent level that FSW was able to get every single year. Terry, obviously, being one of your close friends, as you well know,
Dion.
went to Georgia, now in the G League. Keon's now with the Sacramento Kings. So FSW has always been known for getting this high level talent. Talk to me real quick about what that was like for you going head to head with those guys at practice every single day and then playing alongside them during the games with guys that, I believe you played alongside 15 or 16 other Division I players during your 2 years there.
Yeah, so it was fun. It actually brought the best out of me every day. Practice, especially Rajon and Bam. Those two people I can say that if you ain't come to practice ready to play, they gonna exploit you. They gonna really like if you're not going hard 24/7, it's not for you. So that kind of instilled that, especially playing for Rick Pitino and all that, like I still had that work hard mentality. So once I came and I was able to play with them and play against them in practice, I feel like it got me to a whole different level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've always been trying to develop your game and get better. And I mean, you would always ask the coaches I would show up to the practices, I would, during the games, obviously, I would hear you asking everybody, "Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think? What do I need to do to help out my team?" That was always the best mindset. And your second year there, you really managed to embrace that, especially after your first year kind of it ended up uh, ending shortly because of injury. You had to redshirt that year. And I know for a lot of players, when they have an injury that ends up, ending their season, it kind of, impacts them mentally. How did you kind of stay strong from a mental standpoint and keep working hard when you had to redshirt that first year at FSW?
My family. My family was my biggest support. Because, I'm from New York. So when I had the rusher, I ended up coming back to Charlotte, North Carolina, where I was able to train and get back to where I need to get back to. But as far as the mental piece and keeping me there, like making sure that I know that everything is going to be okay and probably be better than what it was before, my family, especially my mother. Because I'm a very religious person, so I'm big on prayer, I'm big on God. So every day just hearing her talk to me, praying with my church, my family, everything. Like, but definitely my family.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I've met your mom in person before. She's one of the nicest people I've ever met. Loves her kid, that's for sure. I remember she told coach, she's like, "So my baby's gonna have like 20 points tonight, right?" And coach is like, "I hope so." So it was always fun to watch that. And then obviously you made the move from FSW to Morehouse College, playing for a very talented squad there. This past season, you averaged about 7 points, 3.5 rebounds per game. Ended up starting 19 of 26 games for them. So you were one of those veteran leaders throughout the season. Talk to me real quick about your time with the Maroon Tigers this past season. What was the best part about being at Morehouse College?
That's first thing first. My coach, I love him. I love him especially for recruiting me and putting me in the position I'm in now. But this year it was very, very fun. It was very fun. Like it was very fun. Even though we didn't get the job done, we are supposed to win the championship. We still got the regular season cold championship with Clark Atlanta. But it was a very good experience this year, and next year is gonna be even better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you were able to come in and you kind of ended up blending into their system pretty easily early on from what the games that I watched. You were able to knock down shots, use your athleticism to get to the rim, find open teammates, and you could definitely see the growth in your game from your time at the junior college level. Talk to me real quick about that Maroon Tigers system. How would you really describe the way that you were able to blend in to be able to make an impact so early on?
All right, first thing first, the coach is a very fair coach. And when I say that, meaning if you kill him, you're gonna play. But if you BS him, you're not gonna play. But the thing about that though is not so much as if most times when you in the system and you every player has a point of their career or point in their season where they in a slump. So the thing I love about my coach the most, because I had my little point when I was in my slump. He was able to work with me and still like treat me as if I was not in my slump, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
But everything that I went through, I determined.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome that he was able to keep working with you and help you continue to grow. And now that's going to lead into next season. You're planning on coming back to Morehouse College, spend one more season with them to help lead their program to that championship. How are you looking to continue to grow during this off season and impact your team next season to where you guys can go make a run into the national tournament?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like this summer, it's about to be double overtime. I ain't gonna lie, like because this season, like honestly speaking, I know what I gotta do going into my season coming up at Morehouse. So it's just more so like just making sure that I'm ready, which I'm always gonna make sure I'm ready. Like that's not a question. But making sure that I'm ready and I'm good for the whole season. 'Cause, playing the whole season, like it sounds good, but especially at a high level, it takes a toll on your body. But that's the mental part, like where you gotta lock in and know what's important. Take care of your body, make sure you get the right recovery. So that's really what it is. But this summer though is a working summer for sure because I got a lot I gotta do, and I definitely want to win that championship.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm sure you're gonna have a nice little championship ring on your finger by this time next year. I am so excited to finally have you on for an interview, man. Love you, bro. Past few years, it's been a ride, and we still going. You know, I'm gonna be supporting you throughout your journey, not just in college, but when you definitely make it to the professional level, wherever you end up, I'm gonna be tuned in, man. Thank you so much for doing this interview, bro.
Now, for sure, appreciate you for having me too.